Mr. Shaka Dyson.
If none of you guys know who I am, my name is Shaka Dyson, and I open up every single video that I do on my YouTube channel with this. Shaka Dyson here, motivational speaker, record-breaking F&I trainer, and your friend in the automotive business. So, I tell you that to tell you this. If you guys have low energy, if you guys ain't ready to get with it for the next, couple of minutes, I ain't gonna keep you here all day, but if you guys have low energy, if you're that, man, this is the wrong place for you. Because we about to get into some game right now. Who with me?
Right here.
Who's with me right now?
Jim.
Let me feel the energy. Who with me right now?
Right here. Jim.
Listen to me. I heard a lot about, like Karen talked about time being the most precious thing, which it, without a doubt, absolutely is, without question. 86,400 seconds of it in a day, and you have to maximize all of them. Would you guys agree?
Yes.
Now, listen to me. I want you guys to grasp my philosophy about this. There was a lot of talk about Paul Cummings talked about the day you were born, the day you die, and that dash in the middle, right? So that dash in the middle represents your life, right? Now, the quickest way from any point, any two distances is what? A straight line. Now, if you're in a hospital and you're on the bed and you see a straight line, what does that mean? That means that means that's a flat line, right? So I don't want a straight line. I don't want a dash in between the day I'm born and the day I die. I want my stuff to vibrate. I'm talking about I want my line to be squiggly, vibrating up and down, right? Like on my tombstone, I don't want them to be able to fit the dash on my tombstone, right? That's called vibration, right? That's called vibration. So the reason people seek me out, they're like, Shaka, I operate in the F&I space. That's where I operate. But what makes me different, right? Because anybody can talk about F&I. Would you agree? Many dealerships, anybody can talk about F&I. There's several things that make me different, but the number one reason is because I vibrate differently. That's what got me here. What that means is that you can say the same things that I say, but you ain't gonna say it the way I say it. How many agree? Woo. Come on
Absolutely.
with it. Now, what you're gonna have to understand is this. I had a dealer yesterday ask me, say, Shaka, how do you stay so motivated? How, right? And my answer to him was extreme adversity. Extreme adversity. Now, I've had conversations with Sean. Like, I don't know Sean personally, but I'm like all you guys, man. This dude vibrates on a level that's unreal on social media. Would you agree? I mean, it's unreal. So I started following this guy. But when I was able to get to that level where I vibrated enough to start having conversations with him, posting, he followed me because I've been following him for years. The one thing he always consistently out of all the years would tell me is what, Sean? What do you tell me all the time?
You're always positive. You're always awesome. Always energetic.
Real, recognize what?
Real.
Real, recognize real. He always told me that. Always. And I was like, yeah, because I'm always throwing down the positive stuff. I'm always throwing down the motivational stuff. And listen to me. I ran the F&I department for 34 stores across 5 states. I had 65 F&I managers that reported to me, right? And my approach was different. I managed through motivation, right? But not until now did I fully grasp what he was talking about, that real, recognize real. See, extreme adversity. I understand what your background is like, right? Because Shaka's background is so damn similar, right? Now, mind you, I ain't spent all that time in prison, right? Mind you, I wasn't undercover for the DEA, right? Mind you, I wasn't in the jail cell with the Unabomber or the World Trade Center bomb, whoever it is, right? But adversity is adversity. It don't matter if you black or white, short or tall. It don't care where you from. You gonna see it. Would you agree?
Right.
Adversity will find you where you are, right? So it's not about the adversity. It's how you handle it and how you push through it. Would you agree? So like him, so he grew up in a tough situation. I grew up in a tough situation. Listen to me. My biological mother walked out of my life when I was 2 years old. Most of the friends I grew up with knew their mom. I never knew mine. I never knew mine. She walked out on me when I was 2 years old. I had a rough upbringing, right? I'm a teenage runaway. Most people don't know this unless I tell them, but I'm a high school dropout who is now the CEO of his own company. right? So I've been to juvenile. I've been to jail, not 3 years, but I've been there, right? I've been robbed at gunpoint. On a separate occasion, my house has been broken into and I've been robbed. 5 members of my family have been murdered, killed on separate occasions, right? I know what that adverse life is like. My older brother been in prison my entire adult life out there in LA. I know what adversity looks like. So when people say, hey, Shock, man, how do you stay so motivated? I say, because of extreme adversity. I know what the other side look like. I choose to live, L-I-F-E. Living is for everyone. Would you agree?
Yes.
Come on with it. Stand up if you feel me right now.
Yeah,
Living is for everyone. Come on with it, right? You want to take every second, every 86,400 seconds in your day and reach for greatness. How many agree? So that's what Shaka Dyson is about, just in case y'all didn't know. So there was something said, people always say that, that success leaves clues, right? I say success don't leave clues, success leaves blueprints, right? So this has worked for me in my life. No matter what issues you have in your life, no matter what your adversity is in your life, no matter what circumstance you're in, somebody has always gone through that or a worse circumstance, but somebody is always as successful as you want to be. Would you agree? Absolutely. That's where I found him, right? And like I said, I don't know him personally, right? This is the most time I've spent with you ever in all the years that we've been interacting, right? So I don't know him personally, but I started following him online. I was like, man, who's this dude? Did you guys see this cat's first website? I mean, he had like gold helicopters, like dollar signs falling down. He was in outer space standing on a, I was like, man, if this dude ain't the P. Diddy of internet sales, I don't know who is, right? On the cover of magazines with crowns on his, did you see him? Because I did, right? Then you start following this guy, and I'm like, and at the time, I'm in retail. I've only owned my own company, my training university for F&I for a year and a half. The entire time, I've been in retail. What's similar about his and my background is we both, I don't know if you know this, but we both started in the automotive industry in 1999. Both of us. He's about, you say you'll be 41 next month?
Yes, sir.
So he's got a year on me, right? I'll be 40 this year. He's got a year. We've been in the automotive industry the same amount of time. We started off in dealerships. We took 2 different career paths, right? I came to run 34 stores, 5 states, etc. And look around you. This cat has built a company. Man, this dude is rocking at a different level, right? Dealer synergy, video production, internet sales, 20 group. He's an influencer. I told a young lady back there today, I said, man, look, I got to step my game up, right? So this guy is on rock. Kept following him because, listen, success leaves blueprints. I'm not like some. I don't have that legendary college background, those parents that you could call on that would dig you out of a hole. I didn't have that. All I had was me. And I had a little girl when I was 18 years old that depended on my success, right? So I had to go out there and I had to find it. When I started the automotive industry, I lived in a project building in Indianapolis, Indiana, and drove a car from 1988. Ford Taurus, right? So I had to find those. My way to success is I had to find those more successful than me, and I had to follow the blueprint. The first time I met somebody inside that made $100,000 a year was inside of a car dealership at Hubler Dodge. I said, man, look, how much you make again? He said, I made $108,000 last year. I said, what? I said, you made $108,000 last year. Yeah, I made $100,000. And you do the same thing that I'm going to be doing, and you make $100,000 a year. He's like, yeah. I was like, game on. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. Because right now, I'm coming to a car dealership, and I live in poverty. The only way I got to a car dealership is by answering an ad that said, this is for all y'all millennials. They used to put jobs in newspapers back in the day, right? They were called classified ads. Right? And I saw this ad that said, $45,000 first year, no experience necessary. I said, for real? $45,000? I paid $315 a month for a 2-bedroom in a project building and got no car note because I drive a hoopty. $45,000, I'll be rich. Come on with it. Right? So that's how I ended up at a car dealership. And when I started there, I'm in training, and the guy said he made $100,000. I said, man, are you serious? $100,000? game on. I will feed my daughter and teach my daughter forever. And then the first millionaire I ever met was Howard Hubler of Hubler Dodge in Indianapolis. And I saw him. I walked into the dealership and I saw him and I said, man, Howard, that's the first millionaire I ever seen. I said, he might as well have been Michael Jackson. I walked in there and I was like, oh my God, that's Howard Hubler. That's Howard Hubler. And I started telling people, hey, listen, that's Howard Hubler. They were like, yeah, I know that's Howard Hubler. I'm like, man, that's Howard Hubler. And that was my introduction into the automotive business. Success leaves blueprints, right? So as I grew my career, I started following successful people, right? I could grind my way out of my situation. I could grind my way out of being behind. The reason why I'm telling you this is because I don't care what level your dealership is vibrating at, you can always take it to the next level. How many agree? You can always get there. Believe me, I'm a high school dropout who ended up at the executive level of a 34-car dealer group. Come on with it, right? Like where they do that at? I'm not supposed to be there, but you can grind your way out of your situation. Would you agree? So I started watching him, and there he is, and he's grinding, and he's vibrating, and Internet Sales 20 group, right? Over here, over in Boston, Chicago, L.A. I was like, man, he in L.A. and Phoenix, and I'm thinking to myself, I didn't tell him, but I'm thinking to myself, man, one damn day I want to speak at one of them, man, I want to, right? And then I see this cat come out with a book. I'm like, a book? This guy is vibrating, right? So I don't care if it is outdated. I'm an F&I guy here, bettering myself, and listen to me, 3 years ago, I ordered this book off of Amazon and started reading it. I'm an F&I guy running F&I departments, reading about how to win the game of Googleopoly. Come on with it. So then I started posting video. You would have liked that. I started posting video about this, right? I'm in my West Palm stores. I'm posting video outside with the book. I'm in my Chicago stores posting video, talking to my finance man. Hey, y'all seen this book, right? And they was like, yeah. I was like, this. They were like, yeah, man, the book looks great. I was like, dude, you got to order it because I know the guy. I didn't know him, but I was telling them that, right? Well, I know him now. So my thing is now, every time I order a book, I like to meet the author, get to know the author, and get the author to sign it. Sean, do me a favor, man. Can you come up here and sign my book, man?
I'd be honored to.
I've been waiting a long time for you to get here, man. I've been waiting a long time for this, man.
Thank you, brother. It's an honor to sign this.
I've been waiting a long time. Now, y'all seen Karen give me, I'm waiting on her to write a book, or any one of y'all, because y'all give me a book, y'all got to sign it.
The #1 F&I trainer in the automotive sales industry.
Come on with it. Come on with it. So, I wanted to get him to sign this book, and I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit today and get you to understand that every one of you guys have got greatness in you, and the reason why I know that for certain is because I'm standing here. I'm not supposed to be here. I'm not supposed to be here. There's so many people that I know in my life that have come up short. 9 people that I've gone to high school with are not here anymore. So you have to vibrate in that dash. That day that you were born and that day that you're going to die is coming. You need that dash to vibrate. To hell with it being a straight line. I'm out, right? So I vibrate at a different frequency. If you've seen over the last 3 days, I've been the loudest person in here, clapping. Saying, why? Because that's who I am. Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you, sir.
So I'm here to represent F&I managers. I'm here to represent the F&I department. And what I mean by that is I want to talk about how to connect the F&I department and the Internet BDC. Ain't that fly? Ain't that fly? I mean, I'm noticing myself popping on the stage. That's strong there. But I want to talk about how to build a bridge between the F&I department and the Internet and BDC department, okay? So here's the deal. Leveraging your F&I department to generate more appointments, more deals, and more revenue. Okay? The question is, can we do more? I'm going to let you answer that. Can we do more? Yes. Can we do more?
Yes.
Y'all got to vibrate with Shaka Dyson up here. Can we do more?
Yes.
Come on with it. If so, how? So let me talk about this for a second. So 18 years in the automotive industry, as I talked to you already. I told you about that story. Founder of the F&I 20 group. The F&I 20 group is the largest F&I focused group in the automotive industry. There are many people who have been in this conference who are gone now and who are still here that are in that group. It was amazing coming to this conference and people being like, hey man, can I take a picture with you? Right? So I am to the F&I industry what Sean is to the internet industry, except I don't have the magazine covers, not yet anyway, come on. So it has almost 11,000 members on it across the country. And what we do is we vibe together, network together, teach together, help together to take F&I to the next level because that's how much I believe in it. I'm a national F&I trainer, so many of your dealerships, including Toyota of Grand Rapids and all the other stores that you've heard of, Bach, that gentleman's from Bach, been around there. I know a lot of those stores. I'm a motivational speaker in case you guys haven't figured that part out yet. And I'm the founder now for about a year and a half of an on-demand platform for F&I managers called Dealer F&I University. The #1 F&I training platform by the #1 F&I trainer in the automotive industry. Dealer F&I University. We're changing the game in F&I and dealerships all the way around. We're changing the entire approach, the entire way we do the presentation, the entire process, and we're taking it to the next level. This is my favorite accomplishment, my most important accomplishment. I'm a devout husband and a devout father. I'm most proudest of that, being a proud father of a young lady who's in college and another young lady who will be 8 years old tomorrow. And I've been married for 10 years now. Now, perception is everything, right? And in most dealerships, the F&I department is the boogeyman. Would you agree? That's the department that most people in a dealership, unless you're an F&I manager or from F&I, you don't know much about it. Would you agree? The F&I department is the boogeyman. Typically, they're back in a hallway somewhere, right? Or they're in their office with the door closed, right? They're the boogeyman. Egos, obnoxious, right? Many things used to describe F&I managers, right? I heard Peter in here talking about yesterday, well, when they get into F&I and F&I gonna beat them up for an hour, thinking to myself, man, we don't beat people up, right? We sell product. We are in charge of revenue. That's what the F&I department is there for. The sales department is there to eat up market share. The internet department, the BDC department, is there to sell the value of appointments, close customers on appointments, and drive traffic. Would you agree? Yes. And the F&I department is there to generate revenue, right? However, prima donna, anybody ever heard us called that? Huh? I don't hear y'all, but I know y'all have heard it before. Prima donna, right? Egotistical, come on. Overpaid, I've heard that before. Non-relatable, yep. How do I know? Because, man, even though I ran that department, sometimes I found them in my own department, and guess what? Had to get them on out the way. People don't think they can work lock and step with the F&I managers. If you agree with that or know of that, raise your hand. Not many. So you guys believe that you can work with your F&I departments, or do you think that they're prima donnas, like I've been told before?
I think they're prima donnas, but we can work with them.
I love it. That's called progress, baby. However, notice what he said. I think that they're prima donnas. That's enough said right there, right? But if you can work with them, we're going to try to change the game until the point where they're not prima donnas and you're rocking with them. How about that? Unfortunately, that reputation has been earned, okay? It has been earned. I know that it's been earned. I've been rocking in F&I now for 18 years. I know that it's been earned. Even sometimes now, so I'm not going to put it on all the people that came before us, even sometimes now, the reputation is still earned, right? So it's time to change the perception. Would you guys agree? Now, interaction between the Internet and BDC departments benefits everyone. It benefits everyone, right? Now, there's many adjectives that are used to describe the F&I manager, but I'm going to tell you how I describe it, having lived it, fought in it, got scrapes and bruises and been scrapping in F&I for 18 years. Let me tell you how I describe F&I managers, as leaders, because they are, right? Salespeople, because we are, right? Masters on the phone, because we use the phone every day, because we are, right? Great at penciling deals. Now, let me give you an idea about this. This was an analogy told to me years ago, and it still sticks with me to this day. if you took all 18,000 dealerships across the country, if all the sales managers got up off the desk and walked out of every dealership in the United States at one time, the F&I manager could absolutely get up, walk up to the desk, start penciling deals, and deals will continue. Would you agree? But if every F&I manager in that same scenario got up and walked out of the dealership, unless they came from F&I, there's nobody that can walk back there and start doing F&I. So, great at penciling deals, strongest closer in the store, right? Now, Internet and BDC managers and people are strong closers. They got to, right? But typically, F&I managers are going to come from the sales department, do a great job, get put in the F&I department, sell intangibles, and close people who didn't come in there to see you anyway. In charge of the most profitable square footage in the dealership. Would you agree? In charge of the most profitable square footage in the dealership. Now, this is how I see the Internet and BDC department. See, I see it a little bit different. I think that you guys are vital. You guys are vital to the success of a dealership. Hardworking, yes. I mean, when I'm seeing Internet and BDC managers having to make 100 or 150 calls, when I watch your video and you're like, man, who can make 100 calls in the next 20 minutes? I'm going to give you $500. I'm thinking to myself, wow, right? Now, you guys are back in the back, and you guys don't get the recognition that you deserve, but you are very hardworking. You're salespeople. Would you agree? Yeah. That's the common denominator we all got, right? We're all salespeople, right? Underappreciated. How many of you guys feel like you're underappreciated in your store? Couple? Masters? Sometimes. I'm with you. Masters on the phone. You got to be a master on the phone. Would you agree? Yes. Closers. Are you guys closers? Yes. What are you closing? You're closing customers that come into the store, right? You're selling the value of an appointment, you're closing them to come into a store. Would you agree? Yes. You're in charge of the virtual showroom. Is the virtual showroom not the future? Yes. Is the virtual showroom not the first impression customers get? Is the virtual showroom not the first place that customers go? And you guys in the Internet and BDC are in charge of it. You guys are the future. And you guys are in charge of the first impression that the customer gets. The department F&I interacts with the least, right? So F&I interacts with, of course, the service department. Why? Because we sell service contracts and they use them back there in the back. We definitely interact with the sales floor, right? Because we're out there getting deals approved, helping salespeople, helping the desk, etc. When do we see Internet and BDC? Never, right? You guys are back in your offices and we're back in ours, right? Again, who benefits from involving F&I in the BDC? Everyone in every department, right? The idea is more. Would you agree? The idea is more. More appointments, more deals, and more revenue. How many agree? Agree. Now, this whole session is about dominating, right? How do we dominate? How do we get ahead? How do we dominate? I'm going to give you my principles of how we dominate, how me and my team dominated at the group that I was with, set records that hold to this day. Let me give you my 5 principles. The first is time, taking advantage of time. If you have a pen or a pencil, write this down. Time, taking advantage of time. Now, how do we do that? How did I do that with my people? We replaced the word time with effort. Time with effort. I had many people who would tell me, Shaka, I can't do that. It's going to take time. I said, no, it ain't going to take time. It's going to take what? Effort. In due time or in due what? Because let me tell you something. 18 years, me and him been in the car business the same amount of time. And obviously his effort level has been through the roof. Would you agree? So when I leave from here, I'm like, man, I got to step my game up, right? I got to put in more effort. Come on with it. The second one, fear. We got to get rid of fear. Who knows the definition of fear? Somebody raise their hand, spit it out. Definition of fear, what is it?
False evidence appears real.
False evidence appearing real, right? Let me give you Shaka Dyson's definition of fear. Fake excuses and reasons. You got to get rid of it. Would you agree? Yes. So everyone in my staff, I don't care what city I flew to, what dealership I was in, what brand I represented, because listen to me, I had brands from Aston Martin, Porsche, all the way down to Chrysler, Kia, Hyundai, name it, I had it. 3 Volkswagen stores, and guess what? All of them were held accountable. All of them were held to the same standard as any of the other franchises, right? So they would make up what? Reasons. They will make up excuses masked as reasons, right? Oh, well, Shaka, it's a Honda customer. It's a Volkswagen customer. Oh, Shaka, man, these customers, man, it's a cash deal, right? Listen to me. You got to get rid of your fear, your fake excuses and reasons. If you can't get it done, skill up until you can. How many agree?
Agree.
That's how you have to approach this. So fear. Number 2 principle, fear. Get rid of fear. The third principle is you got to push. You got to push. Who knows what push means? Persist until something happens. Would you agree? Yeah. Persist until something happens. So top 3, take advantage of time, get rid of fear, persist until something happens. Number 4 is you got to do more, right? Let me tell you what more means. Money only respects excellence. Come on. Money only respects excellence. So the more excellent you do something, the more you skill up, the better you become at something, guess what's going to follow you? But if you don't, if you spend your time being mediocre, guess what you're going to be? Broke. Would you agree?
Yes.
And the last is you got to dig. D-I-G. Whatever it is that you do, you got to do it great. How many agree?
That's it.
Money only respects excellence. Now, why? So here's the deal. F&I managers spend their time selling, right? Overcoming objections and closing. That's what we do. F&I managers have to call, sell, rehash, and close back-end products to customers. We have to call and rehash and get a decline turned into an approval with the bank, right? We have to call and get more advanced on the deal, longer term on the deal with the bank, right? We have to call and close the lender on giving the customer lower rates. We always have to call and close. We always have to call and sell, right? Anybody see any similarities between what the F&I manager does in the BDC? We have to call, sell, and close. What does the Internet BDC do? They call, sell, and close. Come on with it. So call, sell, and close. Does this sound familiar? Of course it does. Come on with it. Now, why does it sound familiar? Because the Internet, because the F&I and the BDC take many of the same actions for different reasons to get different results. How many agree? Same actions. They call, sell, and close. F&I calls lenders and customers. BDC calls customers. F&I sells the needs to a lender, right? We need more advance. I need more term to get this done. In order for the customer to do the deal, I need a lower rate, right? We constantly selling people. We sell the customer products in order to generate revenue in the back end, right? Well, the Internet BDC is constantly selling the value of appointments to customers. Would you agree? And we're closing lenders on the needs of the customer, and we're closing customers on the need for them to have the product so that we can generate revenue. And the Internet BDC department is always closing customers on coming in and they're driving traffic, right? The bottom line is you should build the bridge in your store so the F&I and BDC department can take many of the same actions for the same reasons to get the same results. How many agree? We've talked about why. Now, let's talk about how real quick, right? The first thing is you have to create the right culture. F&I, like we previously discussed, some people don't feel like they can work with the F&I department lock and step. Well, let me tell you something. In our dealerships, we create the right culture so everyone in that store understands that they are working together for the greater good of every department in the store, every dealership, and every employee. That is the culture in the store, right? And if you can't get with it, guess what? We got to promote you on down the street, right? Sayonara, see you later, period. Because how do you create greatness? It's called what? Synergy, right? That's how you create greatness, right or wrong?
Right.
Create and implement the right process, right? Having a great process but not having anybody follow it, right? Or having a great culture and not having anybody follow a right process means nothing, right? So you have to create and implement the right process. Would you agree? Train. You have to train on the process. You got to train to be great, right? You can have the right process, the right culture, but if nobody know it, it don't mean nothing, right? And then you have to do the right process. Would you agree? Because you can do all of the above, but if you don't hold your people accountable to doing it, if you're not measuring it, then it doesn't mean anything. How many agree? Now, the reason why I measure so much is because in the F&I department, we are the most micro-managed, micro-reported about, micro-measured department in the dealership. After every single deal, when the customer walks out, what's the first thing the manager asks a finance manager? Hey, how'd you do? Did you do anything on that deal? Did you make any money on that deal, right? After every single deal, right? We are the most micro-measured department in the store. That's the do. You have to do the right process, right? And you have to measure it. How many agree? Every department in the store works together for the greater good of the dealership and every employee in it. Every employee in it. Employees are vital to a dealership. You take employees out of any store, then guess what? It's just a building with cars in it. How many agree? It's the employees that make up the store. It's the employees that make the culture in the store. It's the employees that give it the greatness, right? Without the employees, it's just a building. How many agree?
That's it.
Get the F&I manager involved. This is the right process, okay? I like for F&I managers to be involved in the deal early, and I'm talking about super early. I'm almost talking about at hello, okay? And I feel the same way about leads that come into the BDC and the Internet Department. Some might disagree with me, and that's cool. I'm with it. However, I agree with me, and that's what matters right now, right? So I want the F&I manager involved in the lead early, right? If you, think about this, if you in a dealership think that the F&I department is mysterious, right? You don't know a whole lot about the F&I department, and you worked in the dealership, well, what do you think the customer knows about F&I, right? Why do you think F&I gets such a bad rap? It's because a customer will walk into a dealership probably having touch points with a few people in the store, but never having talked to F&I. Right? We don't see we don't see customers until they walk into the store. And what I'm telling you is if you have a manager who comes from the sales floor, who's a master on the phone, who's considered the strongest closer in the store, right? And who eventually has to see the customer anyway, why wouldn't you want that person talking to the lead? Would you agree? Don't allow the lead to live or die with the BDC employee only. Now, there's processes in each store. I heard a young man yesterday, I think he was at a Toyota store, say, hey, when the lead comes in, the BDC person calls them twice, they can't get a hold to them. They turn it over to the salesperson. They call them twice, they can't get a hold to them. Then it goes back to the BDC department. And then nowhere did I hear, hey, man, listen, we're going to run over here to the finance manager, have the finance manager call too, right? But we need to be involved. Use the finance managers to help answer customer questions. Right? Use the finance manager to help sell appointments, okay? And you help close and confirm appointments to show. Now, if you guys have F&I managers who can't get with that program, like if they're hard to work with, or if they don't want to jump on this culture, on this team, on this process, then are they the right people for your store? You got to think about this. Are they the right people to help your dealership grow? These are questions that you have to answer because it takes synergy to become a beast in the space. How many agree? If you're sick of competing and if you're ready to dominate, then you have got to work together to do it. Right or wrong? Come on with it, man. Whew, man, let me tell you something. So triggers. When? When do we get, so I got a lead in the Internet BDC department. When should I get the finance manager involved? When should I go grab Shaka back there? Look for the triggers, okay? When they ask you about F&I related questions, does the Internet BDC get F&I related questions all the time, every day? Huh? What's the best rate, right? Special finance questions. Hey, what's my payment going to be, right? What about the back-end products? What about this product or that product? Or, man, I don't want to come in there and buy no products, right? STIPs, co-signers, right? Or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So whatever may be finance related, that should be a trigger to to go run to the finance manager, right? Here's the lead, call the customer. They got some questions before they commit to coming in, right? So if customers won't commit to coming in, even if they don't have finance questions, listen, get the F&I manager involved. You guys get the desk involved, right? Right or wrong? You get the salespeople involved, right or wrong? Go over there and get the finance manager involved too. We want to talk to that customer too. I want to talk to you before you come into the store. Right? I want to give you good vibes and good expectations so when you come in the store, I can roll out the red carpet for you and give you a great experience. I want to talk to you before you get there, right? Customers shopping the best deal, what? Who should they come? Let them talk to the finance manager. Come on. Get your finance manager involved in the daily or weekly training of your Internet BDC department. I don't know if you guys have daily or weekly training, but if you do, get the finance manager involved in that training. Now, let me ask, should you have daily or weekly training? right? Sean, should they have daily or weekly training in their store?
Yes, absolutely.
Internet BDC? Absolutely.
100%.
Right? You should always be training for greatness, right? And I'm going to tell you something. If you are training for greatness, get the F&I manager involved in that training, right? Let us give you some perspective on, hey, when the customer calls in and asks about the best rate, what should I tell them? When they ask about if they could use my cousin as a cosigner, what should I tell them, right? Get them involved in the training so it's not guesswork, right? Wouldn't it be great to have the most highly trained manager in your store helping and having the backs of the Internet and BDC department? F&I managers are the most highly trained people because when you're a salesperson and you get promoted to be a manager, the first place they send you is to school, right? And then they got this warranty rep that walks in like every other month or every other week, right? And want to sit down and train with you, right? It's always training. Sometimes it's not all the right training, but it's training, right? The most highly trained people. So wouldn't you want that person to have your back in the store?
Yes.
Roll out the red carpet for your customers. Roll out the red carpet, right? Listen, I heard Warren Buffett gave a video a week ago. I was watching this video by Warren Buffett giving, and he said, here's how you grow your business. It's simple. It's simple. Focus on customer satisfaction. This is how you grow your business. He said, because I've never seen a company with a whole lot of satisfied customers ever hurt for business. It made all the sense in the world coming from the second richest man on the planet. Who agrees?
Oh, yeah.
Rolling out the red carpet for your customer, right? How often does your customer in your store get to talk to an F&I manager before they ever walk in? Never, right? All my year, man, listen, I started changing this culture once I went to run the department and could implement processes that they had to follow. But in all my years, I never seen where the bridge was built when I was back in F&I and the people back in that BDC department went and brought me leads so that I could call them. I didn't have a process in any store that I did F&I like that until I went to control it when I became a director, right? How often do the customers in your store get to talk to the F&I manager before they get to your store? Are your customers going to see the F&I manager?
Yeah, absolutely.
When they get to the store and they purchase a car, absolutely. They got to go back there and sign the contract, right? They need to talk to your people, right? The last line is what? It's time to dominate. You want to separate yourself from your competition. Let's focus on dominating, okay? When asked, 8 out of 10 F&I managers said, listen, I never saw a customer before they ever walked into the dealership, okay? And guess what? In our stores, we had our own internal survey for customers, and when asked, 8 out of 10 customers said that same thing. Listen, I never saw the F&I manager before I got to the dealership. We need to change that culture. We need to change perception because perception is what? Reality. So we need to change. We change perception, we change reality, right? Process and results in the BDC have a direct impact on the results in F&I, how they're treated in the BDC. If the BDC Internet Department gets them in, if they allow F&I department managers to get involved, or if they don't, if they keep us being the boogeyman in the back, how they're treated, what happens within the sales process, all is all a reflection of the results that we get in the F&I department, right? A bad experience on the sales floor, a bad experience on the floor, right, or in the Internet and BDC department can result in what? Bad results in the F&I department, right? It's a domino effect. Who benefits from involving F&I in the BDC? Everyone in every department. You guys agree?
Yes.
Absolutely.
BDC manager benefits. Why? Because he gets more appointments, more pay, and he's more confident in the F&I department. We get to talk now. We get to work now. We get to immerse now. There's some synergy, right? The F&I manager benefits earlier introduction to the customer. That's how we benefit, right? We do more deals, right? More appointments, more deals, and more revenue by leveraging the F&I department, right? More revenue for the F&I department. We do more deals. We're closing more customers. We're selling more product. That's more revenue for the F&I department, right? And obviously, just like the BDC department, we get more money too. Love it, right? And the dealership benefits, right? Ultra important. They get more traffic, right? They get more traffic, more deals, more revenue for the dealership, right? And a happier sales staff because if more deals and more traffic are coming through the doors, right? Are the salespeople more happier? 70%. I heard 70%. Man, I was like the other cat. I was 70%. What's going on in your store that you got 70% turnover in your store? Right? That's a whole nother conversation, but that needs to be analyzed. And most importantly, the customer benefits. right? Customer satisfaction is what we're all after, right? So the customer benefits, more comfortable with the dealership. I'm more comfortable where I know people, right? I came to this conference. I'm the only F&I person at this conference, so I'm like, man, all y'all internet people, and I don't know nobody, not yet. But by the end, y'all gonna know me, right? So more comfortable in the dealership, more confidence in the buying process. How many of that is it? How many people find that the customers in their mind, they don't tell you, but you know that in their mind they have issues, they have confidence issue with the buying process. I know whenever my mom is getting ready to go buy a car, I know she called me. I know when my auntie or friend is going to buy a car, they call me. Any of your friends and family call you? Now, why? Because they're calling the person that's inside of a dealership because they don't have the confidence in the buying process, right? Well, that's how a customer benefits. Earlier introduction to the boogeyman, earlier introduction to the finance department, they find out that we're great instead of mysterious, right? And it gets rid of the boogeyman in F&I, okay? You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take, Wayne Gretzky. How many agree with that statement?
Absolutely.
You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. And listen to me, this thing is about at-bats. Whether you agree or not, we can all do more. We can all become greater. How many agree? Absolutely. This thing is about at-bats, right? I want to have more at-bats than you. I want to be better at what I do than you, right? Zig Ziglar said, if you aim at nothing, you'll hit it every time. If you aim at nothing, you'll hit it every time, right? So like he says all the time, be specific, aim at a target, get great and shoot at that target. If you aim at nothing, you'll hit it every time, right? So we want to be aimed at dominating. We want to aim at becoming great. How many agree?
Agree.
The goal, more appointments, more deals, more revenue, right? And I'm going to take it a step further real quick, right? In the F&I, in the BDC department, in some of my stores, I also spiffed the BDC Internet Department for selling back-end products on customers that left my F&I department and weren't sold products. If they could call the customer, follow up on their experience and say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, I saw that you didn't take advantage of a service contract. May I ask, what was your concern about it? And then they feel more comfortable with that person. They start explaining the concern. If they could close them on any product, key replacement, windshield, ding, whatever that product was, Xylon, whatever that product was, service contract, we paid them, right? Because they deserve it. And we also had a rep in the BDC department that managed the service department. Now, you guys have service drive BDC reps in there, right? F&I also had somebody in there that when a customer went into the service drive and their miles were about to expire, or if they had issues with their car and they didn't have a service contract, that person was being followed up with the BDC rep that represented F&I and talked to about a product. And if they sold a product, we paid them a commission. Come on with it. Everybody wins, right? Because it's all for the greater good of the dealership, every department, and every employee in it. Would you agree?
Yep. Agree.
Come on with it. So that's the after-sales product phone calls. Questions? And listen to me. I made it. Thank you very much. Come on with it.
Right. Give it to
Come
him,
on.
y'all.
Appreciate you guys.
Hold up. L.A. Williams.
Let me ask a quick question.
Yes.
Wow, man, so have you ever heard of a gentleman named Kevin Hunter?
Kevin Hunter.
Yeah.
Not off the top of my head. I've probably seen him before.
I just shot out a video to all of the Dealer Synergy people, Sean, Brett, Karen, all y'all got a text from me. Because it's a video, and he talks about exactly what you're talking about, but he's kind of coming from the opposite perspective, telling people, oh, be scared of F&I manager, all that different type of stuff. I definitely know that you got to take over the industry when it comes to this type of stuff because, you know, one of the conversations that I have when I'm training BDC, you know, I go live on the phone and things like that. Obviously, credit being one of the 7 reasons why people go online, that's one of the #1 conversations I have with them. I tell them, hey, listen, my F&I guy is amazing. And that's why I tell them all about it. And, you know, I sell and edify that whole thing. But I'm 100% down with you with everything that you were just talking about, man. That's phenomenal stuff.
Man, my round of applause to you. I appreciate that. Yes.
Yeah, Shaka.
Awesome.
I got to tell you, I've been doing this for a long time, and I think that F&I is definitely underrepresented and underutilized in internets and BDCs. And at NADA this year in 2017, I did a workshop, The Internet and Phones Are the New Showroom. Internet phones are the new showroom. That's where the majority of the traffic is coming from. But yet, dealers do not have in my experience, and I have a lot of this stuff, presence in that BDC for F&I, which is a major profit center. There's a reason why, it's a rhetorical question, you know, I mean, does anybody really know why service BDCs started becoming like a thing? Because someone realized, you know what, holy shit, we're not making as many service appointments as we could, allowing our service writers to turn around and make these appointments. Why? Because they would stack them, those appointments, on their schedule, not for the convenience of the customer, but the convenience of their schedule, right or wrong.
Yes.
But I have never, in my 18.5 years, have ever heard a presentation at any workshop that had an F&I person, expert, explain the synergy and the need to have it. And you know what? I don't apologize much, but I am sorry that the majority of the people did not get to hear that message. My idea when I had you is because I knew you were dynamic and I wanted to close with some energy. But you know what? Shame on them. And what I was doing was not playing Angry Birds. Yo, I'm a beast with them Twitter fingers. I have you all over your F&I 20 group, posted 2 videos already, Millionaire Car Salesman group, Twitter, Facebook, everything.
Come on.
Because that information needed to be shared. And again, do me a favor, stand up and give that man a round of applause for the uniqueness. And you have my respect.
Absolutely.
And I hit the hashtag on your group, real recognizes real. That's some real shit right there.
Thank you, man.
And real valuable.
Appreciate
so
you, man.
It was an honor to see you speak. And you know what? With class, he didn't go up like this. Oh shit, there's like 8 people in this bitch. God damn it, their hair. Yo, he did it like there was 1,000 people in this room because that's the way a professional does it. Absolutely. So you just trained this audience on multiple different levels, overtly and, you know, subliminally. And that was deep, man. I respected your craft. And that's a powerful speaker right there. Thank you, Shaka.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Absolutely. Any questions for Shaka? Whoa, that's what I'm talking about. Let's ask some questions here. Hold on.
When are you writing your book?
That's
That's all I want to know.
Oh,
One day.
Pick a date.
One day. It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah, questions. You make me run all the way out there for, come on, meet me halfway. Come on. I got shoes on. These are Louis V's. Damn it. Here we go.
First question of the conference. So, save the best for last, right? Mm-hmm. So we work with Cox Automotive, Auto Trader, Kelley Blue Book, and Dealer.com. And one thing that we try to coach our dealers on, or at least I have over 10 years, and they never take me up on it. Mm-hmm. Present F&I products on your VDP. Mm-hmm. And you don't have to go in great detail, but to set the customer up to say that there are extended service plans or warranties from $17 a month to $45 a month, just sets them up for them to be able to say, hey, you know, what's the difference between $17 a month and $45 a month? Mm-hmm. Or however you want to pitch it. But as you guys go back to your dealerships and as you guys coach your stores, encourage them on all platforms, cars.com, TrueCar, it doesn't matter. It's all the same. Anywhere a consumer can go, and when they're doing research, tee them up for F&I. You know, show them what that peace of mind is, right? So I don't know if you get into that a lot, but there are space on our sites. And a lot of your different exporters, you can just do it once on all the vehicles, and it goes out to all your platforms. So it doesn't have to be difficult. The other thing, so many dealers include warranties built into their cars, and that's a value proposition that they have, but we don't tell the consumer that, right? And then there's almost always an option to upgrade. We don't tell them that either. So it's like if we can start teeing up the F&I out on our digital advertising, I really feel like there's a lot of room for expansion there.
Shaka, what do you think about that? Thank you so much.
Yeah, so obviously you've seen a lot of stores that have a lot of area of opportunity. You know, if they sell the warranties that he's referring to that are on vehicles already when you come in from the dealer and not the manufacturer, typically powertrain warranties that they have the opportunity to upgrade to. There's you know, it's covering the engine, the transmission, and the drivetrain, which are covered, you know, that are never going to break anyway, right? So the customer has the opportunity to upgrade once they get in the finance department. That's what he's talking about. So in that respect, you know, it's just awareness. Again, it's just a training issue, right? Training, acknowledgement, awareness of what the right process would be. Now, As far as going into the F&I products on your VDP, as far as, doing videos, I support this. I support having information about a service contract, gap policy, key replacement, et cetera, on your website. Why not, right? You need to have that information on there so that the customer can see it, and if they have questions, they have it on there. However, F&I is a different dynamic, okay? It's an intangible, number one, and number two, because customers don't know a whole lot about it, it's the department that customers don't walk into a dealership to come see, right? They'll do everything that they can to come avoid the F&I department. I'm gonna go to my credit union, right? They do all kind of research before they get to the dealership. They talk to Dave Ramsey and Susie Orman, et cetera, because they don't want to come in and talk to an F&I manager because of their previous experience or perception, right? So what I believe is that we, the F&I managers and the F&I department, need to be proactive in that aspect and roll out the red carpet for the customer, right? So I want to engage the customer personally. So I don't want to do it through video on the VDP. I want to take the opportunity to engage them as much as possible so that I can change their perception. And in changing their perception, what else am I changing? Their reality. So that's my answer to that.
Shaka, let me jump in on this to play a little bit of spin from the Auto Trader rep, but for me, I think it's important for content. You got to understand something. NADA says in JD Power, they've done research as far as the buying cycle. The first place that people go to is the OEM website because they perceive they're going to get the most accurate information on the products, specs, codes, options, etc. Then in the middle, between 45 and 55 days out, they're going to start to try to narrow down that search. For example, if I'm looking for a Honda and a Toyota, I'm going to go to Honda OEM and I'm going to go to Toyota OEM. But how am I going to know which is the best product for me? Because if I go to Toyota, I'm like, psst, Mr. Toyota, Mrs. Toyota, what's better, Toyota, Honda? Toyota's gonna be like, psst, what do you think? Toyota, duh. So they go to third-party providers like Edmunds.com, Kelley Blue Book, TrueCar, whatever, and they narrow down the search. When they're the closest to buying a car, they're gonna go to the dealership looking for pricing and availability. Here's the problem. Most dealerships don't have any information for point of interest, only point of sale. Most websites and most dealership strategies are only point of sale, point of sale, point of sale. People spend the majority of the time searching, researching, surfing, not just buying. So I always recommend that we should turn around and have content and information. It increases time on site, it reduces bounce rate, and it provides a value for that prospect that will turn into a customer. So a couple things. Being able to educate people on the value of finance and insurance, having some information to pre-sell some of those packages or options, because there's a lot of maniacs that are putting disinformation out on the internet. Do you see what I'm saying? That's the whole ZMOT, zero moment of truth. Before they even get to you to have that real life opportunity, there's all these wannabe hacks and telling people stay away from them, that they're gonna crush you. And there's actually a phrase in that video, and I quote, "You would not go to the movies and load up on candy, so don't do that shit and buy anything from F&I." That's on that video. That's exactly what he says. So I'm saying being able to provide that information. How about this? We're talking about testimonials. You know what would be priceless? To be able to have a video testimonial explaining the value of Gap. You know what I mean? And there's somebody saying, "Oh my God, I can't believe I was about to not get that Gap insurance because I just got into an accident and oh my Lord, if it wasn't for Gap." Exactly.
Absolutely.
Or life or whatever, or protection. You being able to have real people share their experiences. And then let's flip it to subprime again. I'll give an example. Having how to or what to do. What do you do if you lose your job? Some people might not have an idea. What do you do if you have a car loan, you just bought a car and you lost your job, or you lost your leg, you got to amputate it, some shit crazy happens. What do? Do you just not pay your bills? You might sound like common sense, but some people might not know. You and I know, because I did special finance, but you do finance, that you could contact the lender and explain a situation, and they might defer. They might put a freeze on your account, maybe just pay, interest, whatever, and then defer to the end.
That's right.
This is powerful information that is not out there. So what do people do? They just go back because they don't know what else to do. So there is a lot of value by providing information. So
in that context, absolutely.
yes.
1,000%.
So this is synergy. I just started feeling you,
1,000%.
and I'm like, all right, let's play. Let's do this.
Come on.
Yeah.
Mention.
All right, so there's some stuff. Question? So I got excited. Shaka's just contagious.
You're fine. I was actually just going to say, to your point on the stories, about 2 months ago, my wife and I bought a car. It was her dream mom car, pregnant with twins.
Aw.
In F&I, I worked personally at a Land Rover dealership for 9 years, so I've kind of like, oh, I know, like I'm not going to buy anything, except for I did buy Gap insurance. But I shot down the tracking device on the cars, or I don't remember what it was.
Low jack.
Low jack.
Yep.
2 weeks later, guess what got stolen out of my driveway? Our brand new car. So it got stolen out of our driveway. We recovered it 2 weeks later with 2,000 miles on it, and it was completely, I mean, it was gross, but it's ours. Got it fixed, got low jack put in it. Guess what I'm going to buy every single time whenever I buy a car from now on if it doesn't already have it? It's low jack. So it's that personal experience that you can share with people that is going to basically get the thing sold.
Confession time.
Experience is the best teacher.
Shaka, I'm going to build on that. Confession time. I had a BMW X6M, right? I don't know if you guys know about those vehicles. They have run flat tires, low profiles. And out of Philadelphia, going from Medford, New Jersey to Philadelphia Airport, I blew out 4 tires. And you know what? When I got spotted on the vehicle, I don't want the tire and wheel package. Yo, I was online like a little bitch, like complaining. I should have got it. You know what the first thing I bought?
Yeah.
When I turned around and got the i8, when we just got the brand new i8 for
Tire and
2016. Tire and wheel package,
Absolutely.
without even skipping a beat. And I'm in the business. So yes, and that would have been perfect, because I would have been the perfect candidate to turn around and put a video review or a video explanation about why getting tire and wheel package is absolutely important.
Absolutely.
L.A. Williams. Wait, 20 seconds. I want to give a round of applause for the sponsors that stayed.
Yes.
Because seriously, that's respect. And I respect that because, again, it could have been just easy to just check out, pull down your booth or whatever, but you were here, engaged. I mean, damn, you guys are communicating in. I love that. That's what this event is about, is the synergy and the respect. And let's keep it going, L.A. Williams.
Final thing, it's crazy because y'all just said exactly what I was getting ready to say. We just bought a car about 6 months ago, and one of the challenges is we, want the car. I'm in the industry. I know all kind of stuff. Don't even worry about that part. But listen, so we go to the F&I, department, and I know sales. See, that's the one thing I definitely know. So when we're sitting there and, she's describing stuff, my girl's like, what's that, babe? What's that? What's that, right?
Yeah.
And half of the stuff, half of it I know, half of it I don't know, but I definitely understand sales, and I know how a lot of stuff works. Here's the deal. What is the first word that most of us learn in the English language when we're growing up? You learn no. So if we don't know what it is, nah, we good.
Yeah.
Nah, we good.
Yeah.
Nah, don't even sound right. Nah, we good. Right, so that's why we talk about when he said having the information out there, I'm telling you, just planting it in their mind so that when they get to the F&I office, that's not the first time they hear those words strung together, is familiarity. That's what man, I'm telling you, some phenomenal stuff. So.
Yeah.
Thank you, L.A. More questions? Yeah, no, please.
So I know what you were saying about, like, you don't want the canned blanket video, or not that you don't want it, but there is more to F&I than a blanket video, maybe something to get them interested. What about doing a personalized video after the fact with a BombBomb tool or something where you could introduce yourself and say, hey, Shaka, listen, I appreciate you purchasing the vehicle. I noticed that you bought this and this. You didn't do this, this, and this, so here's a few other options. How would you feel about something like that?
Going to the customer that you just spun the deal for?
Yeah.
And they absolutely.
Yeah, either before or after.
Yeah, 1,000%. Yeah, definitely. Because that's part of rolling out that red carpet, right? Because sometimes a customer will, like some of you guys have said, hey, they'll decline the coverage, but it's because it's the first time that they're hearing about the coverage, and then they may go home, think about it, right? And then their Aunt Susie, they may have learned their Aunt Susie got a flat tire or got into an accident. They may think, man, you know what, I should have bought that. Well, then you follow up with like a BombBomb video or something like that, and they say, hey, I can come back in tomorrow and get that from Shaka if I let him know. So absolutely. Absolutely. Rolling out the red carpet. Customer satisfaction is what it's all about.
Shane.
I mean, I'm not going to plug BombBomb at all, but I talked to
You just did.
Well, Mossy Toyota. So I talked to Mossy Toyota, and he worked in F&I before he got into the BDC
Ryan
as
Dillon.
a manager. And one of the things that he said is that he would always switch people from a warranty that they could always get out of 10 months later or something, get the refund, and switch them over to the tire package or something that's hard that you're guaranteed more money in, and then you're able to tell those stories. So that's something that I think would be huge when you guys look at the BDC and bringing that in ahead of time, right? Oh, he doesn't like that?
You know, so here's the deal, man. Again, you remember when I said that old reputation, it's been earned? So think about this for a second. The products that are in F&I are really, like in reality, man, take the F&I manager out of it, take the reputation out of it, they are really there to help the customer. They're really there to help a customer in their time of need. They're really there to help the financing. They're really there to take care of a vehicle in the time of need, right? They're really there to help, really. Right? And in helping that customer and rolling out that red carpet and in really protecting that customer, the revenue gonna be there. The revenue is gonna come, right? So if you sell the service contract right, if you sell the value of the protection to the customer, then guess what? 10 months later, 8 months later, 12 months later, you ain't gotta worry about them backing out. They understand the need for it, right? So I'm gonna tell you this, the people who say that, I'm not saying him, but what I'm gonna say is, F&I managers say, you know what, I'm gonna switch them off the service contract and I'm gonna put them in here because they locked into it. What are they not selling then? They're not selling the value of what? They're not selling the value of the service contract. You see what I mean? Right. So customers will always buy what they see value in. That's why when F&I managers run from cash deals, it's because they feel like they can't sell customers on cash deals because they don't know how to build value in the product on the customers who are stroking checks. Would you agree? Yeah. So that's the difference in Dealer F&I University. That's the difference in Shaka Dyson. I tell you right now, I'm the #1 in the country for a reason. And because I take a value build approach. We get rid of the menu, right? The customer and all that stuff, and we focus on dumping value all over the customer. And guess what? You dump value all over them, and what they gonna do? They'll buy, right? Simple as that.
Let's give Shaka a round of applause.
Thank you, guys.